Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! So this happened last month. I was at Walmart and this pile of socks and boxers were on the floor, so being the mildly OCD person I am, I decided to pick them up and put them back. Fast forward to where Karen enters. Excuse me, do you know if you have any 40 or 42 double D bras on markdown? Karen asks me. Huh? Oh, I don't know, but I think they are over by the changing rooms. Can you show me? No, I'm shopping as we… You're shopping? You work here, don't you? No, he doesn't. Is that not obvious? Amy, my friend, comes up and tells her, "You need to mind your own business, young lady." Karen told Amy this in a respect your elders tone. Hold on, pause. May I inform you that I'm 17 and could work at Walmart, but I don't think you'd ever assume I was because I look like I'm 12. I think because I was wearing clothes similar to the Walmart uniform and appeared to be stocking items, she thought I worked there. Well, he's my best friend. His business is my business. Yeah, Amy is that kind of friend. She said it shrewdly, and I wish she hadn't because Karen blew up. And even more conveniently, Kylie, my girlfriend, showed up to ask her to stop yelling at all of her friends for her misunderstanding. Karen then went to my manager. 13 minutes later, there, right there, that's him. Fire him, or I will sue the store, then sue him and take everything he has worked for. The manager chuckles as if he has dealt with the situation before. Ma'am, he doesn't work here. Don't give me that nonsense. If he doesn't work here, why is he stocking items? Maybe because I have OCD and I hate when people leave bags of socks and stuff on the freaking floor. I respond, clearly pissed off by now. Liar! Shut up, you don't even know how weird you sound right now. Kylie tells her, "Excuse me, you little witch. I'll sue you and your pimp daddy next to you." I then lose my sanity. You witch, you will not call my girlfriend crude names in front of me. First, you accuse me of working somewhere I don't even work at, even though I've told you literally 6 times, minus the 4 other times my friend and girlfriend told you, and you go get a freaking manager to fire me. And when he tells you I don't work here, you go off on my girl for telling you to shut up. And then you have the audacity to call her crude names like that. We are the ones with no respect. Screw this. You're an awful person. At this point, Karen is speechless with shock. She then retaliates by walking up to my girlfriend and slapping her across the face. To which I responded by karate kicking her in the gut, and then examined my girlfriend's face before simply walking out of the Walmart. Yes, I did that. I did so before Karen could regain her breath and go on another rant about how we are disrespectful. This happened about 7 years ago when I was 14. 2 things to note: my parents owned a restaurant at the time, and my hair was much longer then. It used to go down my back to my waistline, but after this, I had it cut shoulder length. If I had no after-school activities and my parents couldn't make it home, I would often go down to the restaurant and order myself some dinner. Normally, I would eat in the back office, but today it was slow and I wanted space to spread out my papers to study while I ate. When I ate there, if I was in the main dining area, the server would just mark the bill with my name. And my parents would give that person a tip of 25%, so no money ever went from me to the server. I finished my meal, packed up my papers, and was headed out the door to go home when my head was jerked back by Karen, pulling my hair and saying, "Not so fast, missy." She pulled me by the hair to the back of the restaurant while I cried. It hurt. And I tried saying, "I don't have to pay. It's taken care of." Just then, my dad came out from the back office shouting, "What the hell is going on here?" Karen puffed up and replied, "I caught this girl trying to dash out on her bill." She seemed proud of what she had done. Every time I tried to pull away, she just yanked on my hair harder. Dad looked at me crying and said, "Did you explain to her why you don't have to pay?" I said I had, but she didn't listen to me. Dad said, Let my daughter go. I am calling the police. She did let go, but stood there tapping her foot in classic Karen fashion, waiting for the police to arrive. Fortunately, the station is only a couple of blocks away, so they were there quickly. When they arrived, Karen looked at me and said, "You're going to get yours, Missy." I don't know what her obsession was with calling me Missy, plus I don't know how she didn't make the connection between my dad saying that I was his daughter and me calling him daddy. When the police came in, Dad told him that he wanted to press charges on my behalf for assault and various other charges. The look on Karen's face was precious when one cop slapped handcuffs on her and the other went back to look at the camera footage from the dining room. She was led out screaming that she had done nothing wrong and that they were arresting the wrong woman. In the 90s, I was a technical operator for a radio station. Long story short, I made production elements for them and adverts on top of my other duties. New management came in and decided to only pay me for the tech op shifts I had done and nothing for the production. First month he was there, I had invoiced for a little over £3,000 and received a £960 check. I ran the overnight, so when midnight came, I moved all my production into a hidden folder in System 32, shut down the servers, threw the breakers and left. I got a phone call in the morning and was asked to come in for a meeting. As I'd left them up the creek, I'd made pretty much 70 to 80% of all the adverts and production, stingers, idents, montages. The new boss was a jerk. He told me I'd damaged the product, which I just laughed at as before he came in, it was a great 80s station, and he turned it into a top 40 station you could find up and down the dial. We will call him Jay. I'd also found out that the sales staff were charging customers £200 for advert production. They were on 10% commission and I was getting £40 for each advert, and they pocketed the rest on top of their commission. Bear in mind the rest of the outsourced ads cost £150 to £200. In the meeting, I laid out my demands. I can restore everything, but I don't only want the money you owe me from the past months. I want the money from the previous adverts your sales staff has pocketed from my work. They essentially made £160 extra from each advert on top of their commission, around £300 to £400 a pop. There is no way we can do that. Jay refused. Well, there is no way I can restore the adverts. He was now looking at pieces of paper on his desk. We can give you an extra £200 a month. I want the whole amount. Handed him an invoice that totaled a little over £16,000. The color now drained from his face. We. Jay, you honor that invoice or you will have to recreate or outsource all of the production, I told him. Okay, let me see what I can do. I'll sort something out for your next invoice date. If I don't walk out of here with the money today, you don't get them back. As soon as you restore them, I'll see what I can do. I will have no guarantees, and I'm not stupid. A bank transfer today, and we can sort that out right here and now. Jay then phones the head office, and within the hour, I had every penny of it in my account. His face was a picture when he followed me to the server to watch me just move the files over from one folder to the other. Yes, they were right under your nose, I told him. Through gritted teeth, he says, "You best get home and get some sleep." No, good luck tonight. Within 5 hours, I was in Spain, where I stayed for 4 weeks. When I got back, I did hear through the grapevine that the sales team were out for blood. Jay pollocked and blamed them for me being ripped off, and they all lost their commission for 3 months and just got basic pay to make up for the loss. I am pretty sure the company made more than enough back from that to pay for my hostage negotiation. I used some of what was left to buy a laptop and started DJing around town for a few years. Back then it was a rare sight and used to get nerdy types on a night out, just hanging around the booth to see what I was doing with a computer in a pub. My friend used to say that I looked like I was doing my homework. So this happened a little over a few years ago when I worked for one of the UK's top retailers. Our store had not long implemented the home delivery service, and being a new feature to our store, there were obviously teething problems with the system, but our team always managed to give it their all, and only minimal mistakes slipped through the cracks. Fast forward a few months later, and our delivery system had now been fully established, and 99% of the mistakes came from customer errors ranging from selecting the wrong date to placing the order for pickup instead of home delivery. You name the mistake, we were the ones blamed for their incompetence. I wasn't a supervisor for this role, but my duties required me to make supervisory decisions wherever I didn't require manager's approval and deal with customer queries. One day, I got a call from one of my drivers who informed me that the customer's property was now closed up and looked as though it had been abandoned for weeks. I looked at the delivery address on a system and noticed that the postcode, US zip code, didn't match with the address. Googled the postcode and found that the customer had changed only his street name when updating his details and neglected to change their postcode, in which the driver GPS system relied on for ensuring that the driver went to the right place. The new address is 30 miles in the opposite direction to my driver's route and just a couple of miles outside of our catchment area, a specific border between other stores that offer delivery. Due to the company's policy, the driver was only and legally required to wait 15 minutes for a customer no-show, as they are warned in plenty of time to ensure that there is someone present to receive the items. Knowing this, I ask him to bring the items back when he's in the area, and I will put them on a next delivery vehicle going out as his second drop was reasonably close to the new address. This meant that the customer would still get their shopping that day, but it meant that it was going to be a little later than expected. As I was gathering the required documents to initialize that change over to delivery vehicle and noting the extra discrepancy in miles and time, the phone rings. Hi, blah blah, how can I help you? Hey, this is X from customer service. I have a customer on a line asking about his delivery. It's Ken, the lovely customer who forgot to change his postcode. Hi, sure, place him on. Now, it's at this point in time where I should note that our delivery store always endeavored to give the store phone number to customers for direct contact, and to help save the customer a hefty phone bill as the customer service number is charged at 75 pence per minute, around $1.06. Standard rates for local numbers were considerably lower at 15 pence per minute, around 21 pence, or free depending on a network provider and plan. Hi, I've been waiting on my delivery and haven't received it yet, and it's now over 10 minutes from the delivery slot. Can you find out what's happening, please? Yes, he really did say 10 minutes, which is still reasonably acceptable given driving conditions, weather, and so on. Hello, sir. I was just on my way to call you. Don't give me that. I know nonsense when I see it. Where is my delivery? Oh, great. Sir, as I'm trying to explain to you, there has been a mix-up with your address. What? Don't you dare say that to me. I want my delivery. Oh, how old are you? As I was trying to explain, there has been a mix-up with your address. When you changed your address, you've forgotten to change your postcode, which has… I didn't forget to change anything. You must have done something wrong. I can assure you, sir, it was nothing I did. Sure, I hacked into the company's records to change your new postcode to your old postcode, just to screw with you. I am sorry for any inconvenience, but at this moment in time, my driver is on the last of his deliveries and is on his way back to the store to hand over your goods to another driver so it can be delivered a little later tonight, and that if you wouldn't mind waiting until then, you will just get on the phone with your driver and order him to turn around. I'm sorry, sir, I can't do that as he needs to adhere to the allotted delivery route in time or risk running a service investigation. This is why they were late for the rest of the route, which could ultimately result in a driver not being able to deliver in the future. Thankfully, this did change later on to give drivers an hour leeway after a slew of customer and driver complaints. I start saying, I'm willing to, before he cuts me off. What? Are you serious? I own a delivery company myself, and if any of my drivers pulled that stunt, they wouldn't be working for me. Knowing I wasn't getting anywhere with him, I decided to let him rant. I placed the phone on speaker and got on with the rest of my job, having already decided to cancel his order. While the customer is ranting and shouting on the phone, I have cleaned the area up, swept it, cleaned up any spills, took out the trash, stacked the crates and laid the area out for the next morning to make it easier for the team's workers. Once I've done this, a manager from another department has come to see what all the noise was. So I nod off the phone and he starts to listen in. 2 minutes later, he moves, looks at me and proceeds to say, "What a jerk." He moves away and finally this epic rant has come to an end. Or so I thought. "Hello? Are you still there?" I quickly answer, "Yes, I'm here." By this point I looked at the clock and it had been a whole 45 minutes, on top of the 10 minutes from the start of our conversation and the average 20 minutes wait time from the call center. Subtotal of the call, £56, which is like $79. This is relevant. Well, as I previously stated, sir, I won't be able to send the driver back. By this point, he had returned to the store. But I would happily. Too late. He goes into a rant again for a further 30 minutes. During this time, I leave him to rant off speakerphone and go to the toilet. Then I went for a cigarette. Then I had a soda. And oh, I think I'll have a packet of chips. Hoping that he'd finished his rant and hung up. Subtotal of the call, £78, which is like $111. Still relevant. Oh boy, was I wrong. As I picked up the receiver, the customer finished the sentence and asked what I was going to do about his delivery. And I say, "Unfortunately, sir, there is nothing that I can do. All I can do now is direct you back to our customer service to file a complaint and hopefully you can get it sorted out as I'm not authorized to redeliver your goods." "Don't bother, cancel my order, and I won't be using your services again." With the least condescending manner I can muster, I tell him, "I'm sorry you feel that way, sir. Please accept my apologies and have a nice day." Click. I quickly rang the store manager and let her know what had happened, just in case he decided to file a complaint. The store manager burst out laughing and said, "I'll deal with it." I never heard any more about it and never received any more orders from him. Why was the total price of the call relevant? Well, he spent all that time ranting, raving, and not letting me speak, racking up a final phone bill of around £82, which is like $116. His total delivery order, £25, which is like $33. The minimum requirement for a delivery order. When I realized what he had done, I was in hysterics. Being a rude, bordering on abusive customer and expecting me to sit and listen to him like a scalded little schoolboy. Wasn't exactly a fortune since he had his own delivery company, but it still sounded like sweet karma. Would love to have seen his face when he received his bill. Thanks for reading.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.